Stephen O'Hara here with the Better Software Company. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can deactivate customers, contacts, and addresses here within the system. We'll start here on our customers list where we'll jump right into an existing profile. Here at the top of the profile, we've got a green dot next to James's name, and that is indicating that he is active as a customer. We can deactivate James simply by clicking the Click to Deactivate option here at the top of his profile information. Okay, now the dot turns gray. Okay, now you may think, well, what's sort of the effect of that? Basically, when a customer is deactivated, you cannot create a new job on their behalf. And when you try to, you'll get this pop-up telling you that. You can override it and, of course, click this button to activate the client and create a job in one click. Okay, but that should stand out and at least bring it to your attention that that client is deactivated, and that may be for a very good reason. Okay, so we can reactivate him now as well. And you may think, well, what might be scenarios where I activate or deactivate a client? You could deactivate a client maybe if they haven't done any paying business with you. So some people might track clients that way, make them active at the point of purchase or after their quote is accepted. Again, keep in mind you can't create orders on behalf of deactivated. So you may want to issue that quote, then you could go ahead and deactivate, just an idea, until they get back to you and book in. Another scenario, pretty common, maybe more commonly used, really just deactivate clients that maybe have moved away. That might come up pretty commonly. They move to a different state, you're not able to service them any longer. And another scenario, of course, would be clients that you simply don't wish to service anymore. So hopefully that can give you guys a better way to track your clients by that active versus inactive. It's important for me to note that this feature only exists within customer profiles and not leads. Okay, so just worth mentioning as an FYI. Now, we can edit the profile information even when the record is deactivated. And so it's really important just to ensure that the information is correct. So you still have the ability to edit that. Okay, now moving on to the addresses and contacts, it's really the same idea. You can activate or deactivate them with just a click. Okay, and similar for the addresses, if a client moves away, we can go ahead and deactivate their old address rather than overwriting it with new information. Now, this is a great point for me to mention that really there's been a bit of a logic change too in how we're updating address information. And basically now, if I were to overwrite this address with the new address rather than deactivate it, what will happen is it'll update that address on all historical records, like quotes and invoices. Okay, so I don't want that. I want to keep that address as a reference if I ever need to go back and look at that old invoice. So instead, I could just deactivate it, and I can add the new address in here potentially. Of course, you will want to add the new address under the main profile information as well, right? Like that'll give you the new address record over here automatically. So, anyways, deactivating, great option for those old addresses. And same thing with contacts. If you do, let's say, business-to-business service sometimes, of course, you might have multiple contacts in that business that you're working with, and people move on, right? People quit their jobs and take new ones. And so, the same idea, say James left the business, okay, I can just deactivate him as a contact. And that'll preserve his information on any historical quotes or invoices that he was attached to, right? And I can always add in those additional contacts here. Okay, so just a bit of a tip there as far as using this deactivate option to your advantage and as a best practice. Beyond that, really, the click to activate or deactivate option you'll find doesn't exist upon initial entry or editing these records. It doesn't exist in this form. It doesn't exist in the contacts form or the address form either. It's anchored right here within the profile itself. Okay. Last bit I think here too would be just touching on the customers list, where you can now filter the list by your active or inactive clients. And within this column, actually, you can click on these yes or no's to toggle the client between active or inactive. Okay, so if they're active, yes, I can toggle it to no. That means the client is now deactivated. Okay, so hopefully you find, again, these features give you a little more flexibility in managing your customer list and their associated records, of course, too. So enjoy, and please let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining us today, and have a good one. Bye-bye.